All right, you guys, so welcome back. This is part two of our build your own epoxy countertop, or as we did, we got into the countertop business. We were already in bathrooms and kitchens, so it was just another notch for our tool belt. It made all kinds of sense why we wanted to get into epoxy, already doing bathrooms and kitchens. So here is this guy yet again. Okay, today's video is part two, and the reason we're showing you this guy out the gate is we're going to talk to you about how to hide the seams now, how to hide the seams works, and also why in fact we use butcher block as opposed to laminate, pouring over something, MDF, and all the other choices out here. So real quick, take a glance at this guy. That seam, I know, this was exactly 3 feet. The seam was roughly in here somewhere. Obviously, it can't be seen. It's completely covered. We're just trying to give you a finished view of what, we're doing with the video and how your project is probably going to turn out. So, as you can see, let's get into it. We've got the rest of our counter sitting here. Remember, we had 5 total. 1 is done. That is their current island in the kitchen. This one up here is their actual kitchen counter. That sits against the back wall, and like I'm sure a lot of you all have seen, a lot of counters have that little turn to it there. So that sews up the kitchen one. These 2 and this one, 3 total. These are in the bathroom, okay? They're gonna be totally different colors, totally different design and everything with what we're trying to do with them. So we don't want to start mixing and crossing. We're going to walk you through everything. Before we get started, this is the seam we're going to show you. Okay, we'll get into that here in just a second. This one, we already have something done to it. This one don't. So we're going to start here, show you what we're doing to this one. We already have it done on this one, so we can come right over and get this kind of cleaned up and then show you the next step for hiding this seam. Before we get started, if you are just trying to, for instance, this could be anybody's bathroom vanity, 36-inch, anything like that. If you're just trying to do one time or anything like that, you don't need all this stuff. You don't need all this room. Doing a smaller project like this, you could do it safely in just a little bit of space. If you do this for a living or want to do this for a living, and most people's kitchen has at least 1 counter, if not 2 to 3. A lot of people's bathrooms have at least 1 counter, if not multiple. So when we get into jobs, we don't know if we're going to be faced like with this one. This is 5 different counters, 2 of which are one design, 3 of which are another, so it causes us to need a boatload of space. So we are inside. It is brutal cold here in Kentucky. And we have everything, the number of years we've been doing this, we've kind of got a good rhythm for everything. Everything that we go to do, we are able to walk around its entirety, all of it, because you need to get to all of it. You don't want to be reaching back here, getting drips and can't really see what you're doing. You want to be able to move through so you can see any problems and you can get them addressed. One of the things we did here, which we do a lot, is we have our little walk benches down here. Painters mostly use these so they can stand on there and walk the length of the wall cutting, and they don't have to keep getting down and back up. So we took 2 of those down here. Our scrap pieces that we have fabricated, all these tops, the scraps left over, is what is sitting on that. And then our wood box that we have here is 10 foot long because we never know what size we're doing, or multiple small ones will fit in this equation. Now, one thing I do want to show you, I'm going to pick this up so you can see. I can't just set the counter right on this wood base, because then when I pour anything, it's going to try to lock it right here to here. So that's why these are set inside, and because they are blocks, I don't want them to be sliding off. So we went ahead and pre-drilled and screwed them down in place where they won't move. Then when I set this back down here, oh, keep in mind also, look at the bottom. Now I know you can see the hole right here. You can see a couple little, it's the bottom. The whole point in painting the bottom was just to seal it so that it's not breathing no more. We didn't care how it looked. It's going to be covered up. It's not an issue. It's not a problem. But with that being said, the bottom are pre-painted. We stay off the sidewalls altogether. That gets done when we are actually painting the surface. We're going to be showing you that in this video, along with fixing this seam and walking these two seams all the way down so it becomes one piece, no more seam you see. So with that being said, that's kind of how we do it. We built this years ago to house all these bigger projects, you know, and there are wheels, caster wheels that we have mounted on the inside of this frame so we can actually take this big guy and slide him anywhere we want back here in this room. That way, if we have weird angles, if we have massive pieces, or as long as this is, if this grew way out here, we have ways to move everything as we keep going. It just helps you if you're going to do a lot of these. Again, if you're only doing one, you don't need that much space, one-time deal. If you are trying to get into this hot and heavy, build a business with it, add it into your bathrooms, kitchens, whatever you're already doing, you're going to need some room to work, you're going to need some space. So let's get started over here with this seam. Okay, so look, first order of business, before we tell you how to doctor up this seam, let me back up a step, because what we didn't show you was putting this together initially. It's very simple. That's why we already had it done, and these are just here to show you what we did. If you notice right here in this seam, there's one mark, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you notice, these marks are identical from one slab to the next. What we did there, and this is just for somebody that maybe don't know or has not done woodwork, or when I say biscuit joint, you may not even know what I'm talking about. So this will help right here. All we did when we had these pushed together, we took a drywall tee, laid it across here, so that our line from this piece to this piece was transferred identically like I just showed you. Once we had that, we split them apart, okay? This is from Harbor Freight. Anybody that knows anything about Harbor Freight, Chicago, that is their name brand. This is very inexpensive. It's under 50 bucks. This is the guy right here, that right there you can see the blade. This is the guy. You see that red dial? Okay, that red line, when these are split apart, this red line gets sit and placed even right there. That is your pencil line that you are targeting, okay? So it allows you, this sets down on the counter just like this. You put pressure here when you have that red line and your pencil line lined up together. You hit this trigger, the blade's going to start running. It is in the mouth. When you push this forward is when it goes in and makes that slit, and then you pull back out. You do that to every one of these. Once you have those holes in place, it's very simple. Any type of regular wood glue, this is the Gorilla wood glue, any wood glue's fine. We actually pick one side or the other, put the wood glue in the slit. These are what they refer to as the biscuits, okay? Again, from Harbor Freight. The biscuits go a long way for ours, so with that slit hitting right here and the wood glue, we slide that in and take a rubber mallet and tap him in flat. Then once all 5 of these are in, we wood glue those holes, slide this together with our hands the best we can, and then we actually switch over. I don't see it right now, but we have good size clamps, bar clamps, you know, anything like that, to get tension in, to draw those tight as we can get it, which this is what you're left with. And you don't want it paper thin anyway, completely shut, because we want to be able to get something down in this groove to stay solid, to stay shut. So this is what you missed when we put this together. That just caught you up. Now let's get started on what we need to doctor up this seam.